Hey guys, Mike here. So today, I'm here to talk to you about The Midnight Sky. In this review, I'll be going over a brief summary of the plot, my quick thoughts about the film, and whether or not you guys should go and see it. So I'm going to try and keep this review spoiler-free. However, if you don't know anything about the film, and you want to go in completely blind, then it's just going back to this video once you've seen the film. So with that, let's get started, shall we?
Is anyone out there?
So The Midnight Sky stars George Clooney as Augustine. In The Midnight Sky, Augustine is a lonely scientist living in the Arctic who must race against time to stop Sully and her fellow astronauts from returning home to a mysterious global catastrophe. And so we have The Midnight Sky. So guys, going into this one, I knew absolutely nothing about it. So me and my family were sitting there at Christmas Day, we just finished watching Soul, and we thought, yeah, let's watch another movie. So we went onto Netflix to see what was there. And number one on Netflix was The Midnight Sky. None of us knew what it was. We saw that George Clooney was in it, so we thought, yeah, let's give it a watch, see what that's like. And then 2 hours later, well, let's just say it's 2 hours I'm not gonna get back. Like, oh my god. I mean, even though I had no real expectations for this one, it was just such a disappointing film. Now, obviously, George Clooney is a good actor. I mean, he's no one I would put on my personal, list of favourite actors, but you know what? The guy is obviously well accomplished. I mean, just in this film though, oh god. It's not that he was particularly bad, or really, it's not really that anyone in this movie was particularly bad, because this movie did have some good stars attached to it, like George Clooney, Felicity Jones, Kyle Chandler, all these kinds of different people. But all of them were just so uninteresting. I mean, one positive I can really kind of pull from this movie is the CGI and the effects. None of them really stood out in any massively significant way, but none of them were really that bad that I could say, oh, the CGI in this movie was bad. The CGI was definitely above average. It was pretty decent. But to be honest, just nothing else in this movie was really all that interesting. I mean, even though I understood the plot and where it was going, I just constantly found myself asking just what is going on and why should I even care? The film just tries to do so many different things at once, but at the same time, it makes it feel like nothing's going on. I don't even know how you could do that. I mean, you've got so many things going on. You've got a world-ending global catastrophe. You've got a guardian protecting a small child storyline. You've got a group of astronauts like as one big happy family. And just none of it is interesting at all. Really, all of these individual story elements have just been done miles better by other movies. Even other movies that do all of these things together in the one story have done it better than this one. Nothing about this story is original, nothing about it is engaging, and it's just dull as hell. And as well, it's just predictable as well. Everything that happens, you know exactly what is going to happen next. I mean, it even got to a point where the astronauts are, kind of fixing something and they're all singing a happy song. Oh yeah, everything's so happy. And me and my family just sitting there just like, all right, which one of you is gonna die? I mean, this scene's obviously too happy, so someone's gotta kick the bucket. And then from that point on, the scene for us just became, all right, someone's gotta die, let's see one of you die. And then try as they might to make the scene really dramatic and really sad and really traumatizing as well. Me and my family just couldn't stop laughing at this scene because we're just like, yes, something's actually happened, oh my god. And then just as soon as it happens, it's over. I mean, really, there are one or two scenes in this film which are somewhat interesting, but then just as soon as they start, they're just over. I'm one of those people who hates it when people talk through movies. I just want to kind of sit there and watch it without anyone distracting me. Obviously, I don't want when people laugh or do anything like that. I mean, those are just like involuntary things that obviously happen. But if people are just nattering away during the movie, it just really gets to me. But with this movie, it just got to the point where all of us just didn't care anymore. It just became an exercise of just poking holes in this film and just making fun of it, because that was the only way we could have fun with it. I know that sounds really unfair and harsh to say, but honestly, if you sat through this movie, you know exactly what I mean. And then as well, the movie tries for a bit of a twist ending. Just tries to pull something out of left field and make you go, oh my god, I totally didn't see that coming. But then we were just sitting there just like, well, yeah, I'd already kind of guessed that. Literally from the very first scene, we were like, oh yeah, that relates to that or whatever. I don't want to spoil it just in case you want to watch the movie, but the movie tried its best to be surprising and it just did not work. And if anything, this surprise made the rest of the movie just even more stupid. Because without spoiling anything, Basically, the lead character had consciously made a decision to make something more annoying than it needed to be. That's all I can really say without spoiling it. Overall, guys, The Midnight Sky was just awful. I mean, everyone goes on about that Clooney is a good director, but honestly, the only other movie that I've seen him direct is Suburbicon, and I remembered absolutely hating that film. I mean, I know it's a bit general to say that Clooney's a bad director by only going by, 2 movies, but really, those are the only 2 ones that I've seen, and they're the only ones that I can really pull to, him being a director. I mean, I may have seen other things that he's directed, but those are the only 2 I can really recall. Suburbicon and The Midnight Sky, and both of them were just awful. This has a good cast that just go incredibly wasted. It tries to be interesting, but it doesn't do anything with its almost interesting premises. The CGI was decent, but really nothing else in this movie stood out in any kind of significant way. I realise I'm being overly harsh on this movie, but honestly, after watching Soul, which was a fantastic movie, and then going on to this just dull mess of a sci-fi romp or whatever it was, it's just incredibly disappointing. And really, it was just a bad way to spend Christmas Day evening. But now, as for or not, you guys should go and see it. Yeah, honestly, I would say to not watch this movie. Really, nothing in this film warrants watching it. I think probably at the end of the day, all of the negatives that I've pulled from this movie aren't really as bad as I'm making them sound. But really, none of the good things in this movie are worth wasting your time over. So I say, do yourselves a favour and just skip The Midnight Sky because, God, I wish I did. Okay, guys, that's my review of The Midnight Sky. If you've seen it, what did you think about it? And what's your favourite George Clooney performance? Whatever it is, drop it in the comments below. Until next time, I've been Michael. See ya.